Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to the Essential Warm Whispers, the podcast by the House of Sacred Space. I'm your host, Razana Shah Jahan. And on this episode of Rise to Ramadan, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, Rise to Ramadan, we're going to map out your moon cycle. Now, you may wonder, the question might come, and it should, mind you, it should pop up. Why should I map my moon cycle out? Good question. I'm here to answer it. Again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This episode is one of my all-time favorite episodes, I would say, because I love speaking about the moon cycle. Love speaking about the sacred room. I love speaking about the sacred space. For me, it is the origin source code. The halal quwwata illa billah. Every time I speak about the sacred space, for me, what I'm reminded of is our mother Hawa alayhi salam. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created her in absolute secrecy and seclusion. Not because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was ashamed of her, or not because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted her to be ashamed of herself. No. Mm-mm, mm-mm. She is so precious to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that the sacred womb is so precious to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He created her with it, without the prying eyes of creation. So when I speak about the sacred space, when I speak about the sacred womb, I think about her. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Okay, a moon cycle. Now, what is a moon cycle? Our moon cycle is our menstrual cycle, which we go through which we go through, and it has different stages. Now, many of us have been taught or have been indoctrinated that the only one stage is important. That is the bleeding stage. I'm sorry, that is each stage of the moon cycle is extremely potent, extremely powerful, and absolutely important. Like it's a absolute flow that it goes from one stage or one state to the other in the most optimal alignment. So the world keeps speaking about alignment, keeps speaking about flow states, and keeps speaking about um, being high performing, yada 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 yada. Hello, our sacred space has done this for millennia, ever since our mother Hawa. So we know all about alignment, we know all about flow state, we know all about it. But this knowledge has been systematically removed from our system on purpose, absolutely on purpose. Because if you know how powerful each state of our moon cycle is, we would use it to its maximum capacity to magnetize and pull in the desired timelines. So if we don't know, and we do not know how to harness each state, what are we going to do? We're going to walk around blind. We're going to walk around accusing everybody else. We're going to walk around accusing the environment without understanding that the source code is within us, and it is our duty, it's our job to understand the source code, interpret it, absorb, and implement. So there is no way that you're gonna blame anything outside of you, which makes you into an absolute victim, or which makes you helpless. This is not how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not created us helpless. Stop behaving like that. Simple. Stop behaving like you're helpless. Oh my God. And when I see that's for a different episode or a completely different series even. The way that we behave, the way we dress, the way we talk, the way we engage with others, it's like we have no agency. It's like we have no power. And this has been peddled to us, this soft girl era, being in your flow state, being feminine. This has been pushed to us. And this really affects our moon cycle. I need to be blunt. The more you try to get into your feminine state, the more estrogen dependent, the more estrogen dominant you are, this affects your moon cycle. When your moon cycle is affected, the way you magnetize things affects. And I've spoken very in depth, deeply about this in my previous series, Lock Up Your Kitty, episode 8, Moon Cycle and Emotions. Go have a listen to that. Now, in Ramadan, the first thing that we all are like so scared is getting our periods during the last 10 days of Ramadan. And we are like, oh my God, oh, I have my periods in the last 10 days of Ramadan. I don't know what to do. I feel so useless. No, 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 no. I'm here to speak about it first. First of all, preparing for Ramadan, you need to learn how to prepare properly. Yes, we've done the grocery. Yes, we've downloaded or bought journals and activities for our kids, for ourselves, and download the Adhkars apps. Amazing. And I'm so proud of you for doing it. I mean, I'm proud of you for doing it. But that is not enough. That absolutely is not enough. You need to sit down and map out your moon cycle according to the months of Ramadan. So now this year, Ramadan falls into 2 months, February and March. So I need you to open up your calendar. I need you to see when was your last menstrual date of menstruation. And for example, if your last date of menstruation was 1st of February, then you're expected to have menstruation 1st of March. Okay? That means if, let me open up my calendar so it'll be easier for me as well. Where is that? Hello, okay. There we are. Okay. So if let's say you have your periods on the 1st of February, that means by the 7th, inshallah, you would have ghusl and you would have started praying. So that means your ovulation is expected on the 14th. Now remember that, no, sorry, not the 14th. Apologies. Expected on the 21st. So which means from the 8th, so you have your ghusl on the 8th, and then the next 1 week is your follicular stage, where there is so much energy that is being created in your body to release this egg. Now, understand this state, okay? If you listen to the previous episode, you would understand there are 4 stages. We have the menstruation, follicular, ovulation, and luteal. Now, menstruation is where your womb sheds. She sheds. All right. So that is a time where, of course, you have cramps, of course, you have pain, but all the unnecessary cords, all the unnecessary patterns that have been stored from the previous cycle is going to be released during this time. So basically, the 1st to the 7th is where you would be in your menstrual state. Okay, so but then it depends, it varies on people. I'm just using a rough idea of 7 days. All right. Then from the 8th to the, let's say, the 13th is your follicular stage. Now, follicular stage is, as I said, this is the stage where the egg is released from the ovary and it is picked up by the fallopian tubes and taken up to the sacred womb. Now, there are so many actions involved here. Okay, you need to understand these actions that are involved here. You have the sacred womb communicating to the sacred ovary and selecting the perfect egg that she has to release this month. Now that takes a lot of communication. That takes a lot of up and down, like communication between both of them. Okay. And then once they decide this is the egg, the ovary is gonna pop her out. Now all of this takes energy, or don't think it's just sliding out of her. No, these eggs are like so cramped into the ovary that she literally has to push it out. That takes a surge of energy. That is why in our body, after once our menstruation is done, estrogen and progesterone start to rise. I mean, rise, girl, rise. It starts to rise. So there's so much electricity, so much magnetism being created within your body and around your biofield. Like you start to become such a powerful magnet. You don't even realize it. Okay. So I'm just giving an example. I'm trying to explain it to you, but I'll explain how you can map this out with Ramadan. Now, then, now as like from the 8th to the 13th is the process of preparation, release. Now, once the egg is released from the ovary, the, it is not, see, this is a misconception that science has taught us. That when the egg is released into ovary, it does not mean that instantly it slides into the fallopian tube. No, the egg is released and the fallopian tube literally put out like her feelers and magnetize the egg to her. Now that takes effort, that takes work, that takes time, and that takes energy. So your whole sacred space ain't sitting and laid back thinking, ah, I'm at the day at the beach. No, she's not like that. She is working so damn hard. She's working literally overtime to get things done. All right. So it's not easy for her. And there's a lot of energy that is invested in this process. Then we come into the ovulation stage. Now the ovulation is, as again, I would say, let's say 13 to the 20th of February. So now if you see 13th to the 20th of February, if Ramadan is on the 18th or 19th of February. So if the stage is 13 to the 13th to the 20th, that means you would start Ramadan in a very high energetic state. Okay? Because now that because you've been in the state of ovulation, that means there's so much of there's so many hormones coursing through your body. There's so much of energy that you have. Oh my God. Imagine that you have these big tubs of energy, like this protein jars. So as I was saying, and you'll be in this ovulation state. Um, one moment, your apologies for that. So you'll be in your state of ovulation, let's say from the 13th to the 20th. So like I said, I was talking about these big jars. Okay. Now let's say that you have these huge jars, these huge, like these protein jars, right? And you're being fed like one a minute. You're being injected one a minute from the 6th or 7th of February till the 5th, 16th, 17th of February. That means for 10 days, give or take a day, you're being fed these massive jars. of energy into your system. You've been injected, not you're fed via injection. So imagine how you would feel. You'll be so happy, you'll be so energized, you'll be so full of power. It'll be absolutely amazing. You'll be, oof, the energy you feel is next to none. Okay. So in that window, we have Ramadan. Right? That's the 18th, Ramadan's the 18th or 19th of February. And in that window, you will have Ramadan. Okay. Now, I highly suggest you all to open up a calendar of February 2026 and go through this with me so it makes sense. So now, and 18th and 19th is Ramadan, right? So you're in your last leg of your ovulation state, but still you have a lot of energy coursing through your body. So preparation for Ramadan, like cooking, if you're working, organizing your work, you'll be in high spirits, very highly spirited, very high spirits, very happy, very energetic. And let's say 18th, 19th, 20, 21st, 22nd, like you've done like 5 Ramadan, 5 days of fast. And then you come to the Monday, which is the 23rd, and you will feel energy slump. And that's because you have entered your luteal stage. So like I said, on 6th or 7th of February, you've been injected with this massive tubs of energy into your system. Remember, for 10 days, from the like let's say from the 23rd till the first 23rd of February to the 1st of March, equal levels, equal amounts of energy would be taken away from your system, literally filtered out from your system. That is why, that is why you feel tired. That is why you will feel exhausted. That is why you'll feel annoyed. That is why you'll feel frustrated. Um, you will feel that, like, oh, the first 5 days were amazing, like 6 days, even 7 days. The first week of Ramadan was so good, so amazing. But now I feel so tired. I feel so this, I feel so that. I don't know what's happening. It's exhausting. I've already exhausted myself. Stop shaming yourself. Stop shaming yourself. No, this is where knowledge is important. Stop being ignorant. This is where absolute knowledge is critical. Stop shaming yourself. Know that you've entered your luteal stage. That you entered your luteal stage and you will be feeling tired. You'll be feeling crampy. You'll feel grumpy. You'll feel annoyed. And the way you've done above ibadah for the first week of Ramadan will not be the way you do ibadah in this last stage of your menstrual cycle. You need to accept that. You need to accept that. And the reason that we're mapping this out is that one, you will not shame yourself for being this way. Two, you would have organized your energy systems. You would have organized your ibadah where you'll be doing most of the heavy lifting, most of the intense work during those 2 weeks, the 2 weeks after menstruation, where your energy is at its peak. Those 2 weeks after menstruation is where you're gonna because you would definitely like kick Qiyamul Layl out of the park. You definitely would have done like multiple juices a day during those 2 weeks, and then that, like, you would feel it. You would feel it. Like, but in those 2 weeks, that's after your menstruation, you would have done so much things. But when you come to the last stage, it would be like, ugh, I don't know, y'all. Things ain't making sense, y'all. I'm tired. I don't know what to do. And then you go into shame and blame. And then even we have a lot of aunties. very helpful aunties. Sometimes if you're part of an extended family, they'll be like, "Oh, why are you not as active as you were the first week of Ramadan? Oh, why are you not active like that? What is happening with you? Oh my God, are you not finding the seriousness of Ramadan?" F off your. This is where, when you don't have knowledge about your moon cycle, you can let everybody derail your magnetism, derail your mood, really derail your life. All right? So, in your luteal phase, you will feel tired, you will feel exhausted, you will feel annoyed, you'll be frustrated, and you didn't might not even want to cook, might not even want to do all these iftari things and stuff like that. Okay? I want you to understand it's okay because you're going through a transition and a transformation, and it's not easy. There's a huge, see, estrogen and progesterone took nearly 14 days to peak. Like it was rising and rising and rising for 14 days. And they dropped faster than they rose, way faster than they rose, and they dropped in a week. Have some grace for yourself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not punishing you, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to be smart. So understand this. So in the 1st of March, you would have gotten your periods. Again, it'll go for about a week, and then we have on, let's say, a 7th of March. Then from the 8th to inshallah the 18th, that's the last 10 days of Ramadan, that will be your follicular and your ovulation state again. Now you can smash it out the park. But this is for somebody who has a menstrual cycle on the 1st of February. What if you have in the middle of February? What if your menstrual cycle started on the 18th of on the day of Ramadan? What then? It's the same thing, but it's just the dates will change for you. So if you have it on the 18th of Ramadan, for the next 1 week, that's until the 24th, you'll be having a menstrual cycle. You'll be having a menstruation. But from the 25th to, let's say, the 8th, that'll be about 2 weeks, yeah? 25th, yeah. No, 25th to the 10th, you will be high flying. You'll be doing amazing. Like, that'd be so amazing. You'll be doing so many great things. But then you will come to your luteal phase, maybe on the 11th or 12th, which coincides with the last 10 days of Ramadan. Now you'll be tired, you'll be annoyed, you'll be angry, you'll be all of that. And for some people in Ramadan, the moon cycle is more extreme than other months. For some people, it is relaxed. It depends on you. So you come to the last 10 days of Ramadan and you come to the last night and you're like, I'm so tired. I can't do this. Maybe because I've been fasting continuously, my energy is low. No, you're in your luteal phase. See, I want you to understand this very important. You know when you're menstruating, and you know that 1 week from that date, for the next 2 weeks, you'll be peak energy, regardless of when you're menstruating. Those 2 weeks will be peak energy. And then the final week, where is be depletion. So in Ramadan, map out when are those 2 peak weeks? Where does your 2 peak weeks fall in Ramadan? That's important. Find out when that falls. That is why the mapping is important. We'll find out when those 2 peak weeks fall, so you can literally organize and plan your prayers, your iftar parties, or your organizing of your iftars, or um having able to do a lot more qiyamul layl, longer qiyamul layls, so that you utilize Ramadan without missing out on Ramadan. A lot of us miss out on Ramadan because we do not know a moon cycle. We don't understand what a moon cycle is about. We don't understand how our moon cycle affects the way we perceive Ramadan. Because our moon cycle affects the way our emotions work. The moon cycle affects the way we think, we process information. So, of course, it will affect the way we perceive Ramadan. Of course, it will have a memory stamp on us and how we perceive future Ramadans. But that's not fair because you might have a very difficult moon cycle which falls in Ramadan, and you assume that it's because of Ramadan, because Ramadan's so hard for you. It's not. You need to understand what your moon cycle is telling you. Otherwise, you're not going to enjoy Ramadan. Ramadan's not going to be something that's enjoyable for you. It will be a chore. It absolutely will be a chore, and you will lose out on all the portals during the day and during the night. And the thing about Ramadan is there are multiple portals that get opened in Ramadan. The five Fard portals, the five Fard prayer portals, Qiyam al-Layl portals, the portal the portals between Adhan and Iqama, the portal at Iftar, 10, 15 minutes before Iftar. These are all dua portals. These are all like the portals of dua are just scattered all over Ramadan. But we are not able to utilize it. We're not able to use it to our maximum capacity because we're ruled by emotions. And we get pissed, we get annoyed, we get frustrated, and we don't understand that it's a moon cycle that's affecting us. Think about it. Think about previous Ramadans. Think about how you were feeling. Think about a Ramadan that you really enjoyed and try to remember what your moon cycle was at that time. It affects. It absolutely affects. So don't, please don't skip this step. This is a vital step. Don't skip this step. Just don't skip this step. Alhamdulillah. So the moon cycle has been created. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the moon cycle for a reason. We don't have a 24-hour cycle. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created a moon cycle for a reason because each stage of the moon cycle is a connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I will go deeper about the adhkars that I personally would recommend you all to do and my interpretation of that in the next episode. So with that, I will end this episode. Jazakallah khair for listening. If you have any issues in trying to map out your moon cycle, if you have any issues in trying to understand your moon cycle, please DM me on my Instagram page. Okay, at the House of Sacred Space. If you can't find it, just put hashtag Rise to Ramadan. You will find my page. Hashtag Rise to Ramadan. You will find me. Send me a DM and then I'll guide you in how to map out your moon cycle for Ramadan, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.